Hi, welcome to Eraser. This is a continuation of getting your head on straight, one of those 5 posture points. So if you have neck pain or if you feel like you really can't move your head very well, we're going to review kind of how to make sure that you are actually working on your neck motion and not something else. One of the first things I do is when someone comes to me is I say, turn your head to the right or left. So say I turn my head and I notice that the opposite shoulder comes forward. Okay, it's a very common occurrence. It's called compensation. Right? As you turn and your neck might be stiff or it might be painful, you're going to start to move your upper body. So what I tell people is, number 1, hold the shoulder back, right? So I'm taking my shoulder now and really setting those scapulae, setting my wings, which is the second point of the second on the list for my posture points. And I say then turn your head, so that I'm not taking my shoulder with me, I'm stabilizing it and only mobilizing my head. Now I like to call that S&M, stabilize and mobilize, right? If we move everything all at once, we don't know what's moving, what's not, and what's compensating and what is not. So I'm holding my shoulder back, especially the opposite one, and I'm turning. And now I'm gonna feel the restrictions, or now I'm gonna feel myself truly just moving at my neck rather than my neck and my upper back, my upper thorax. So again, same thing to the other side. I'll cue them to hold the shoulder back. So I want you to try it, because if you're moving everything else, you're not really moving your neck properly and all the 7 vertebrae that are in our neck. We want each one to move. But what happens is when we're not aligned, and that is alignment, which is key, we're really moving the same part over and over, and that's what gets worn out. If we're in best alignment, then we're moving all the parts like they are meant to be. Now, before we go any further, I want you to also think about your shoulders and the arms hanging down. Now see, my shoulders are kind of down. The weight of gravity and the weight of my arms is like pulling at my neck. So many people claim that their neck is tight. Well, it might be tight in some ways, but what they're trying to do by stretching, or what they're doing by stretching these muscles, is continuing to strain these muscles, which are already strained from having our arms hanging down. So I'm going to put the armrests up on my chair, and now you see my shoulders are higher, right? They're not hanging down. Now that's something that you definitely want to do at your desk or in any chair. Have your arms supported. There's less strain at the neck. So now try turning your head, all right, with these muscles now being supported. They're not pulling, because the shoulder muscles that attach to the spine are overstretched and strained. So now they're supported, almost like a baby, like how you would, support a baby when they're crying, and rather than letting them flail all around. So our bodies are often not supported, and so they're not happy. So if you just look at it like that, I think it's helpful. So now my arms are supported. And now I'm going to make sure that this shoulder does not come forward. I'm going to keep it back. And now I actually can move my neck and feel, and I'll do it 3 times, I feel the head moving all about, right? As if I'm on a spit. So I'm also making sure that I'm not forward, right? The posture points are, the point of the neck is get your head on straight, right? It's not forward, it's back. But now my arms are supported. I'm not gonna let my shoulder move, right? I'm gonna keep it back. My head is in line, my ear is in line with my shoulder, if you saw me from the side. And now I'm gonna turn. And then I'm gonna hold it there, because when you're tight, just holding it there for a minute. Now, if there's pain, don't go that far, but go to where you naturally go and hang out there for a minute, maybe not a minute. I take that back, 20 seconds or so, and then see if you can go further. Yeah, which I did. And that's because muscles need to warm up, right? I liken it to saltwater taffy. If it's hard and you try to stretch it, first of all, it'll break, but it's not going anywhere. It's only when you hold it for a while, your hand warms it up and you keep pulling, then it goes. So think of that with your muscles. So now I'm gonna go to the other side and I'm gonna make sure that this shoulder stays back. It stays still, stabilizes it. And then I'm gonna move my head. Stabilize and mobilize. Now that one went even further. So I have now done it both sides. I'm gonna do it 3 times. And I actually feel like this way is easier. So when I turn to the other side, it's a little harder, okay? And that's what you really wanna do, is always compare the sides. So we're assessing our alignment, but we really need to balance everything too. So because it's a little harder to go to this side, I'm gonna do it again so that, you know, I'm evening things out. And actually I hear a little clicking in my head, right? So things are coming into place. Don't worry about the clicks. If there's no pain, don't worry about the clicks. Things are adjusting. Good, by the 3rd time, I didn't hear a click. And to me, that means that things are kind of in place. So that's something that you can really start to work on, to really work at getting your head on straight and improving the mobility. Our rotation is extremely important. If we can't turn our head, all that pressure is going to be in a certain area, and that's what's going to give one day. So we want to be able to move everything as freely as we can to reduce forces and prevent breakdown. So now those are the bones in the neck that are moving. These are the muscles that are being stretched. But also we have nerves and fascia. So a lot of times the fascia in the front of our chest is very tight. The fascia covers the muscles. Remember, the fascia is like the saran wrap over our muscles. It needs to slide, it needs to move. When it adheres to the muscle, we have some problems. So we need a little myofascial release. So just holding your fascia, and I'm pulling down and holding still, and then turning my head, that really helps as well. Because I'm not able to move my upper thorax at all when I hold it still. So now I'm really getting the movement just at my neck. Now the last thing we want to do is think about the nerves coming from our neck and going all the way out to the tips of our fingers. So I'm going to move the camera a little bit. So my arm is straight out to the side, okay? And I'm going to look at my hand. Now remember also, everything should be in the best alignment. So I'm sitting with my shoulder blades, my wings flat against my back. My arm is straight out to the side. And now I'm gonna look at my hand, right? I'm making sure that my opposite shoulder is not going not going forward. I'm making sure that my opposite shoulder is not going forward. I'm gonna hold it back. I'm looking at my hand, holding it there for a few seconds, 5, 6, 7 seconds. And now I'm gonna turn my head the opposite way and move my hand back, right? So I'm stretching the muscles, yes, but I'm also what's called flossing my nerves. So I'm gonna look at my hand again. I'm gonna turn my head away, turn my hand away, and you might feel tingling. That just means that it's really tight. But the more you do it and loosen it up, it should be less tingly. And relax. Good. It was good for me. And now I'm gonna do the other side, same thing. I'm gonna look at my hand, making sure that my shoulder blades, my wings are set, looking at my hand, turning my head away, and extending my hand, my wrist, actually. Looking again. Definitely stretching my forearm muscles, which is a must when you're working at a computer. Turning one more time. Do it in 3s. Making sure that my hand is flat, right? Another way the body will compensate is if the wrist and the forearms are tight, then you might just move the fingers forward, but you really want to keep those fingers flat, right? Like a fish's tail. It's stabilizing the hand so that you're only mobilizing the wrist. So there you have it. That was a lot, but watch this over and over as often as you need. You don't want to irritate your nerves by doing it too much, but if you're really tight and you've got either symptoms in your hand, carpal tunnel symptoms, just excessively tight forearms, you really want to work at loosening them up and flossing the nerves. It's like flossing teeth, really. Just think of it as, you're getting out the gunk around the nerves and you're opening things up. That's what this is. It's opening up the restrictions anywhere and everywhere in your body so that things can move freely and not be compressed and depressed. So try it. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Practice until it's second nature and then pass it on. Like this video and subscribe for more content. And remember, your self-care is your best health care.